Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Porte ISD, and thank you for being here. It is now 7:04 p.m. Tuesday, March 11, 2025, and I hereby call this meeting to order. Notice of this meeting was posted in a manner required by law at 5 p.m. Friday, March 7th, and the subjects to be discussed and/or considered or upon any formal action may be taken have been listed. The Board of Trustees of LaPorte Independent School District is now convened. Let the record show that we do have a quorum, and our trustee Shoppy will be joining us shortly. A quorum is present. At LaPorte ISD Board of Trustee, every student's success is our number one priority. We are here to set goals, adopt policy, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and communicate the district's vision and success to the community. It is not the role of the board to make the day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. School board meetings are open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. However, audience participation is limited to the stakeholder presentation portion of the meeting, and board members may not respond to those comments made in the public comment section. These proceedings may be recorded, and I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking. And at this time, I ask that you please stand for the presentation of colors led by the LaPorte High School ROTC. Tonight on the American flag, we have Cadet Captain Sonia Nazir, American Rifle Private First Class Eden Gloria, Texas Rifle Cadet Private First Class Mike Morales, and Texas Flag Cadet Captain Taylor Pugh. You'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Order. Colors. Colors. Post. Ready? Seat. Present. Arms. Order. Arms. Center. Face. Mark time. March. Forward. March.
Now will you please bow your head for tonight's invocation given by Trustee Melissa Crutcher.
Lord, there's so much chaos in our world, so many terrible distractions on top of people's everyday struggles, and it just feels so heavy. Lord, you're the clear path through those distractions, and you lighten the load. You know what lies before us before it comes to pass, and we just have to trust you. Father, we know that you are hard at work through our students, through our staff, through our community members, and every day. We humbly ask that you just watch over them and keep them healthy and safe. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to serve them all. It is our hope that we have your guidance in all that we do. You have blessed LPISD so much. We know that you have only just begun, and we just want to be in your hands and feet to achieve your will. And we love you, and it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Now, may be seated. We're going to move on board to item 5, our board recognition is in tonight's recognitions. As always, presented by Director of Communication, Mr. Adam Holland.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As our Lomax Elementary first graders and their director, Shelby Zika, make their way toward the front to perform for us here in a moment, we just want to let you know after their performance, they will be headed out that door. They'll exit. We ask that parents do the same. It will prevent a bottleneck up here, and you'll kind of go all the way around, and you'll be glad you did. So with that.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having us here today. My name is Shelby Zika, and I'm fairly new to the Porte ISD. I got hired last year in January, so this is my first group coming to a board meeting. We are so honored to be here. I brought my best group, my first graders. They are awesome. I fully claim them as mine. I did their very first program with them in kindergarten last year, and they're super excited to be here with you tonight. They were lucky enough to have an amazing program last week, and I said, let's just keep this going. I mean, let's perform it over and over. I'm lucky enough to have an amazing first grade team to work with as well. And so our one song for you tonight is something that we work on our cross-curricular. We did a little bit of science with music. So this is the parts of the plant. Thank you so much for being here.
Good job. You did good. What else? Fifth grade?
There we go. Too busy performing the song over there.
Here, Melissa. You're over here, Melissa. Look at the parent.
Look this way.
Everybody look right here. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, it's so cute.
All the parents get pictures. So good. Good job. Thank you. Good job.
Always the girl that cut pants earlier than something.
I love it. Oh, wow.
That is impressive.
Jeff was saying, I wonder who his name's on.
Ladies and gentlemen, moving forward in our recognitions, I would like to introduce you to Dr. Cade Griffin, principal of LaPorte High School.
Thank you. So one of the absolute greatest honors and privileges that a high school principal has is being able to announce who the valedictorian and salutatorian are for their high school. It's the greatest honor that we can give students on our campus, and I feel so privileged to have two such great examples to serve as our valedictorian and salutatorian. So Liz Oliveira and Maz Chadha has been named the valedictorian and salutatorian respectively of LaPorte High School for the class of 2025. As the top graduates of their, please. As the top graduates of their class, both have demonstrated exceptional academic achievements, leadership, and dedication throughout their time at LaPorte High School. Oliveira and Chadha both intend to major in biology, to eventually enter medical school and to become a doctor, and they are more than welcome to be my doctor later on. Ms. Oliveira plans to attend the University of Texas at Austin, and Ms. Chadha plans on enrolling at Rice. So please, another hand for these great graduates.
Congrats. Congratulations. Can you help me with that?
Pay my taxes.
Yeah, you're the star of the show. You gotta get used to that.
Three LaPorte High School DECA students advanced to the Texas Career Development Conference recently after successful competitions at the 77th Texas DECA District 3 Career Development Conference. Say that three times fast. Senior Kimberly Acosta and juniors Robert Mendez and teammate Nathaniel Kozlowski competed in accounting application series and entrepreneurship team decision making, respectively. By the way, our LaPorte students were among more than 2,000 other competitors in their quest for a state bid. And their sponsors are Aaron Wells Boss and Tamara Jones. Right there, over there.
You have to go to the top.
Congratulations.
You'll have a cool shirt.
Yeah, I like that. There you go.
We can put our arms for
By the way, you'll notice that some folks couldn't be here tonight, and that's because we have softball games going on, baseball games going on, lots going on in the district. 6 members of the LaPorte High School Texas Association of Future Educators chapter recently advanced to state. In one competition, they taught a lesson on the history and importance of showing appreciation to our teachers. They won a bronze for their efforts. Congratulations. The other competition involved one student who qualified to compete nationally for her ability, to plan and deliver lessons in Spanish. Congratulations to Taffy medalist Lily Gibbs. Ariana Holt. Mallory Black. Victoria Trevino, Jerez Rios, and Leslie Betty Cuellar, who will represent LaPorte High School at the national competition. And their teachers are Miss Kenda Atkins and Miss Christina Wergler. Those are it. And they're all going to come back and teach in LaPorte in a few years, we hope. Finally tonight, 6 LaPorte High School Lady Dog basketball players capped the 24-25 season with all district honors, including 3 players who were named to 25A's first team, and 8 players earned academic all-district accolades. And just in today, Jacayla Glover has also been selected to the TABC All-Region team. Head coach Alicia Thompson, meanwhile, was selected as the district's Coach of the Year. And that's for leading the team to a district championship and well beyond. The 24-25 varsity team won district, by-district, and area championship and was a regional semifinalist. Coach Thompson, by the way, more than 250 career wins to her credit. Congratulations. Okay. And again, we have folks playing softball this evening. So we're going to call out the names here. Kaya Greenewalt. Isabel Rodriguez. Bella Spears. Brooklyn Wiggins. Taylor Rhodes. Jacayla Glover. And Sophia Rodriguez. Coach Thompson, would you like to introduce us to your assistants?
Just one.
Oh.
Connie Lindsay.
Connie Lindsay, ladies and gentlemen.
Congratulations.
I didn't know she was back. I'm so excited. One of my former kiddos.
250 wins. Awesome.
Yes. He's not here, so.
Congratulations, guys.
I mean, everything you've ever wanted to hear.
These microphones are on.
I'm just saying, that's why.
Good evening. Tonight we also have the honor of recognizing some of our community partners who served as mentors for our recent Young Entrepreneur Expo, which was on March 1st. This is a project of the LaPorte Bayshore Chamber of Commerce and LaPorte ISD, and it gave elementary and 6th grade students the opportunity to create, build, and showcase their own businesses. This is the 4th year for this project. The first 2 years it was called Lemonade Day, and we extend our thanks to Jeff Martin, the LaPorte Bayshore Chamber of Commerce President, and Committee Chair Frank Nance for bringing the idea to Dr. Jackson so that our students had the opportunity to grow their own businesses. This This year we had nearly 100 aspiring entrepreneurs, and they spent a month working with their campus sponsors and volunteers from the chamber to get ready for the actual event. Students benefited from the wisdom, experience, and guidance of these representatives, most of whom have been involved in the project for several years. And we'd like to thank these local business representatives for their work in helping our students be successful. Our first is Preston Bearden with BioCity Industrial Contractors, who was the mentor for Bayshore Elementary for 2 years, and Preston was unable to be here tonight. Next we have Brandon Lunsford, who is the owner of Garden of Eden Floral and Tea Room. Brandon has been the mentor at College Park Elementary and 1 year helped coordinate the entire program for the past 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Megan Weaver with the LaPorte Bayshore Chamber of Commerce. Megan was also a mentor at College Park Elementary for this year, but because of her role with the Chamber, she's been a driving force behind this project for the past 4 years. Carol Sproul was also unable to be here tonight. She's with 316 Realty. She's been the mentor at Heritage Elementary for the past 3 years. Thomas and Alicia Green of South Region Driving School. Thomas and Alicia were the mentors at LaPorte Elementary and have been doing this for the past couple of years. Thank you. Our next 2 mentors were at Lomax Elementary School, Amanda De Alejandro with Community First ER and Jeremy Holling with Evergreen North American Industrial Services, and they were both unable to be here tonight. Frank Nance with Frank Nance State Farm was the mentor at Jenny Reed Elementary. And Frank has been involved as a mentor in addition to helping coordinate the project for 4 years. Jenny Allen with Sweet Pea Coffee Company. She was a mentor at Jenny Reed Elementary School, and this was her first year in the project, and we're planning to have her for many years to come. Melissa Crutcher with Texas Stress. Melissa has been the mentor at Leo Rizzuto Elementary for 4 years, and we appreciate her hard work. And last but not least, Angie Thatcher with Air Products was a mentor. Angie, who is the current chairman of the board of the LaPorte Chamber, is with Air Products, and she was at our Baker 6th grade campus. This was her first year as a mentor. And before we go on, we also announced on Friday our Young Entrepreneur of the Year, and we have her in the audience tonight, Danica Wendell of Bayshore Elementary School. And we wanted to get her picture with our group, so you can go right in front.
She brought accessories. She brought the hardware. She said, yeah.
Right here.
Hey, while y'all are standing here, because she's way, way, way too modest, but this event does not happen without our great friend Terry Cook. She is a master babysitter and me and Frank, first and foremost. Did like facilitated the whole thing. So thank you, Terry.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you to all of our mentors. We appreciate you so much.
Board in consideration for some of our guests this evening, and there's no objections from the board, we're going to take an item out of order. You do? Do? You sure? Okay. All right. We will now hear public comments. Item 6, the board will now hear those who wish to make comments and who have completed and returned the public comment participation request. This section will be conducted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act and board policy. As such, this is a reminder that board members may not respond to those comments made in the public comment section. Complaints and/or concerns for which other resolution channels are provided shall be directed through those channels. Vice President Martin, do we have any registered speakers?
Mr. President, we do not have any speakers this evening.
Please let the record show that we do not have any registered speakers. So now we will go to item 8, our consent agenda. The board will now proceed with our consent agenda. Unless removed from the consent agenda, items identified with this consent agenda will be acted on at one time. A, determine and approve any consent agenda items. B, approve board meeting minutes. 1, regular board meeting minutes, February 11th, 2025. C, receive principals reports. 1, Early Childhood Center. 2, Bayshore Elementary. 3, College Park Elementary. 4, Heritage Elementary. 5, Jenny Reed Elementary. 6, LaPorte Elementary. 7, Rizzuto Elementary. 8, Lomax Elementary. 9, Baker 6th grade campus. 10, LaPorte Junior High. 11, Lomax Junior High. 12, LaPorte High School. 13, DeWalt High School. D, receive financial reports for January 2025. E, receive human resources report.
Cool.
Mr. F, approve budget amendment. G, approve employment of professional staff. H, approve interlocal agreement for printing services with Pasadena Independent School District. I, approve purchase of library books. J, approve receipt and first reading of TASB Local Policy Update 124 affecting local policies CAA, CDA, CY, DH, EHB, EHBB, FFG, and GKA. K, approve term and non-certified contract recommendations for certified teachers, administrators, and professionals in pay grade 1 through 7. L, approve certification declaring candidates unopposed for May 3rd, 2025 general trustee election. M, adopt a resolution number 2025-103 declaring unopposed candidates elected and canceling the May 3rd, 2025 general trustee election. Vice President Martin, will you please read back our consent agenda?
Mr. President, our consent items for approval are items A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and M.
Okay. I seek a motion to approve our consent agenda. Seconded by Mr. Paris. I call for a vote. It is unanimous. Let the record show the motion is carried. We will now hear discussion on item E. Mr. Paris.
Thank you. Just one question, I guess.
Sir.
The LaPorte High School numbers, I know we got this updated.
Yes, yes.
But it's still very high. I mean, 100 and whatever it is, substitute, 191.
For the total, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
I mean, have we had enough subs throughout that process to be case and but have we had enough subs to handle all that?
We have, and we make calls every morning. We send out notifications to our sub pools so that they can have an opportunity to pick up jobs. There's been a lot of sickness, obviously, during this February month. And so we try to do a really good job of making sure we have our sub training, so we have trained subs coming through every month to join our pool. But again, it's school business, athletics, other school events, and then just people getting sick and having to need doctor's appointments and things like that. But we communicate with the campus anytime there's a high volume of absences to make sure they're covered. If they need us to make any additional calls, so we do touch base with them.
So on any of those instances, are we combining classes or having them be in the student center or cafeteria?
It's a little bit of both. It really depends on the day. One of the things that really was kind of problematic that we've had going on, it's also TELPAS testing time. And so when you add that on to the sickness and onto the athletics at one time, the problem with TELPAS testing is that any teacher that we pull to test in order to TELPAS the kids, we have to get them a sub. Whereas with state testing, sometimes if they teach all 9th graders, we pull that teacher, so there's not a sub we need to get for that one teacher because all the 9th graders are testing. So TELPAS testing in particular is really problematic, and we just finished that, so thank goodness.
So my question leading to that was, if we're pulling them and putting them in a student center, wherever we're putting them, if we Are we using paraprofessionals to do any of that, or are we always using substitutes?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, it honestly really depends on the day and what the need is. You know, we have to be very careful with paraprofessionals because there are minutes that they have to serve kids. We got to make sure that they're still getting those minutes if we pull them. So there are certain ones that we can pull because their caseload that they have the minutes that we can play with. But it really is a day by day. Stephanie Gore and Rebecca Chaplin do an amazing job every morning keeping us covered. But yeah, every day it's a little bit different.
That was my concern. Was, you know, part of the minutes, making sure paraprofessionals.
Yes, sir.
Where they need to be, not something in that cafeteria.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I guess on that, he brought something that I've been thinking about. Not just at the high school, just a district as a whole. Do we have analytics or data on how often like an interventionist or reading specialist is pulled into? I understand like you have sometimes it's not all hands on deck type scenario, but I've heard rumors that it's maybe some circumstances it happens on a much more often basis than not. Is that something we track and we get access to?
Obviously, the principals understand their role as an interventionist, and their first priority is to work with small groups of students, to be pulling those students on a regular basis to receive their intervention. As you said, it is a case-by-case basis sometimes where there may not be another option to make sure student safety and coverage is happening. Sometimes classes may be combined, or a paraprofessional who has already met the minutes for their students that week is able to be pulled. But we certainly do support the campuses on making sure that those teachers are not pulled on a daily basis, because then, you know, what purpose would that serve? Again, it would be in times of need.
No, that's a very loud point. I just think, I don't know if it's true or not, but I guess as a board member, we get here all sorts of things.
Sure.
But we don't want interventionists thinking that they're above being pulled, because everybody in the building helps. Even administrators that are supposed to be covering discipline. Am I right or wrong, principals?
Yes, sir.
So I don't want interventionists thinking that they can't be put into a classroom. We don't want that to be the norm, but it is the practice when needed. I mean, the spring semester, Trustee Martin, it brings about a whole lot of the challenges. You just heard Dr. Griffin talk about that. It happens more at the secondary level than it does at the elementary. We don't want interventionists in class, being pulled like that every day. But when we have to, we have to kind of keep that open.
So my concern, and maybe I'm way off base on this, but as paraprofessionals push into classes and the general education teacher has an expectation that they will have that support. And so I know you're saying that the minutes get met. I hope somebody's keeping a record of that. But typically when we write an IEP, there's an expectation that those paraprofessionals will be available to that general ed teacher. And let's just say, for argument's sake, we're pulling a paraprofessional out on a Thursday from Miss Jones's class, and Miss Jones is giving a test that day. Right. And then who is there to help provide the accommodations? Because if it's special ed minutes, at some point that general ed teacher is not going to be enough. So,
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, I can definitely, that is 100%, the purpose are our last resort.
I know that.
Examine everything possible before we go to that.
That's good.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Trustee Martin asked a good point, and what I'll do, if it pleases the board, I'll ask the principals after spring break to kind of give us some qualitative data, where it's just, what do you do? What are your practices? And it can be a couple of sentences, and then I will pass those on to the board, so you can at least get a glimpse into every campus, because every campus is different, and on any given day it's different. But I do know that these people work really hard, and I don't think you don't think that it's not happening. Right. But I know that it's a juggle to kind of keep up with all of these things. Even with substitutes that are in the building, it's still a juggle. Because if somebody gets sick or somebody has to do something else, it just happens. But I'll get some qualitative data, and I'll give a report to the board.
I appreciate that. I want to say, I'll clarify, there's nobody coming to me that's saying that they feel like they're above anybody else, so they don't want to do this. The issue is they were hired for a specific job to get us to a goal with scores and whatnot. And if you're in a substitute role repetitively, maybe not every single day, but multiple times a week, even multiple times a month, it's hard for them to hit that metric. I would like to see if we have any data sets on how much time is that truly an issue, or is it just happening one-off?
Absolutely.
What can we do to get more subs?
And I know it's a moving target but we're coming into compensation plan and those sorts of things. Where are we at? I've asked it before on substitute pay, and is would you think there would be a benefit? Is it comparable, but do you think there's a benefit in maybe a slight increase to get where we need to be? You know, what are your thoughts on that?
Right, well, we definitely always look at our surrounding areas. We are pretty competitive and, higher than some around us. $100 a day for non-certified and $125 a day for certified. So, and then of course we have long-term rates for ones who can come in and take a long-term position for someone who's going to be out. So we do have very competitive rates. We take our sub-trainings all the way through April. So we have another one, we have one in March, and we'll have another one in April, just to help us get through the end of the year. Because sometimes they'll start with us, and then as the year goes on, they get busy, or their lives get into, the things that they can't sub as often as they would have liked to or had planned to. So we definitely want to keep our pool going strong.
Great, thanks.
I have a question. I learned just through my leadership TASB class that some different districts do different things, not just compensation wise, but maybe they have special parking places, or if they've subbed X number of days in a semester, they get a different rate of pay. Or, have we looked at other options that will make them feel valued, not just the amount of the day? You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm trying to think of the name of the district, but I'll go back in my notes and figure it out and send you a copy of that. Yeah.
Also, are they
just some different ideas to make them feel valued?
Are they getting that?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No, go ahead.
interrupt you, but we do a spotlight of the month with our subs. We ask the campuses for, who are some of your subs that have done a great job. They're there every day. They're, they don't call in or, call out at the last minute and cancel. Who are the ones that are doing a great job working with kids, and then we go and visit the campus, we bring them a treat, and we recognize them, and we post that on social media, and we celebrate them. We also we did it a couple of times last semester, and a couple of times this semester, where we take, like on a Friday, we'll take a basket of brownies or pre-wrapped treats to the front office, and then they're able to get those when they come, and just a note to say thank you for being here. We wish we could do more. Obviously, there's probably some great ideas out there. Those are just a few of the things that we already do.
Good.
Are subs getting this, what is it called, Citrix or whatever that little key pass is? They all have those to yeah, they're all getting those too? Okay, thanks. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's important if there's an emergency that they can assist.
Thank you both. Board, any other questions, comments? Okay. Then I seek a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Call for the vote, please. All right, it is unanimous. Thank you, board. So we will move back to our item 7, our administrative reports. Dr. Jackson?
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, if it's okay with the board, I'd like to introduce some new hires that you've just approved, and I'd like to certainly welcome to a new role, and certainly he needs no introduction in the district, but Mr. Sam Zabrowski, would you please stand? Let's give him a hand. Mr. Zabrowski, a LaPorte graduate and 22-year teacher in the district, is honored and humbled to be named the manager of district facilities and events. His dedication and pride in, okay, there you go. His dedication and pride in LaPorte will serve our district well in this role. Mr. Z currently serves as a career and technical education teacher at LaPorte High School in the area of audio-visual productions, as well as provides district leadership in video production and sports broadcasting. During his years in LaPorte, he has also served as an athletic coach, senior class sponsor, and coordinator for Shattered Dreams, a drug and alcohol awareness program that included district and citywide collaboration in his efforts of educating our young people. Mr. Z holds a bachelor's and master's degree in history from the University of Houston Clear Lake. Please join me in welcoming him to a new role. Sam, you might have a guest that you'd like to introduce.
My wife, Claire, they came along to support him, and always support me.
Also an alumni.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Also,
you're not,
go ahead,
hang on.
go ahead, sir.
You're not getting rid of shattered dreams either. You know, you have to keep going with that. So just letting you know ahead of time. Yeah.
That's other duties as assigned.
I think congratulations are in order for you two as well, correct? You got some congratulations is in order for the two of you?
Oh, yeah.
Welcoming a new son-in-law?
Yeah.
All right, congratulations, congratulations. I'm also thrilled to welcome Dr. Bobby Martinez to LaPorte ISD as Deputy Superintendent of Administration and Support Services. Dr. Martinez comes to LaPorte with 17 years of experience in education, most recently in Alvin ISD, where he currently serves as the Associate Superintendent of Secondary Education. In his 12 years in Alvin, he has also served as junior high and high school principal, executive director, and assistant superintendent. Prior to these experiences, he served for 5 years in Texas City ISD as a bilingual teacher, curriculum specialist, and assistant principal. In addition to his school district roles, Dr. Martinez has served as a university adjunct professor in education in the education department, and he holds a bachelor's degree in political science and Spanish from Texas State University, a master's degree in international studies and educational administration from the University of St. Thomas, and the Doctor of Education in professional leadership from the University of Houston. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in introducing Dr. Bobby Martinez.
Thank you all so much. I'm super excited to join LaPorte ISD family. I brought my family with me. This is my wife, Alicia. She's an educational diagnostician. And then we have my daughter, Zoe. She's in 7th grade, and Adam is in 4th grade. And we're just very excited and humbled. So thank you all so much. I look forward to getting to work.
All right.
Welcome.
Welcome. Okay. So, board, you have my board update, and I won't read the superintendent's board update date tonight. But as is our custom during the legislative session, I'd like to just quickly go through just a couple of bills that are in the being talked about and discussed at this time, and I'd like to just share that. House Bill 2 is certainly one that we've talked a whole lot about. It's designed to increase the basic allotment from $61.60 to $63.80, an increase of $220, and this equates to an additional dollars in revenue for the school district. The bill states that 40% of House Bill 2, should it be passed, this increased allotment must be spent on compensation increases for teachers. And so LaPorte ISD is certainly hoping that these bills will pass and that they even might be considering increasing those numbers. Also, House Bill 3, the Education Savings Plan, providing $11,500 per student and $2,000 each to homeschool students, and an unidentified amount for special education at this time. Those are still bills that are still being discussed in the House. House Bill 8 is reducing the maximum compress rate by an additional 0.331%. Also, House Bill 217 is to increase the required vote threshold to pass a TRE, which is a tax ratification election, from 50 to a supermajority of 60%. This would become effective after January 1st, 2026. And so these are some things that we're just keeping our eye on at the Capitol. House Bill 763 is on the books as well, and certainly we have some thoughts about that. It's designed to eliminate the disaster pennies for school districts. House Bill 1502 to not allow disaster pennies after a failed Vader. So I think this district understands that more than most districts around. House Bill 2671 would allow a Vader election date only in November. As we know, that used to be something you could host both in May and November, but now will only be allowed in November in even numbered years, which means you can't do it every year. And so we'll certainly be watching that carefully. Senate Bill 2 is a creation of savings plans. The voucher bill
to provide a $10,000 per year for eligible students that enrolls in a private school. Students with disabilities would receive $11,500, and a homeschool student would receive and be eligible for $2,000 per year. That's Senate Bill 2. Senate Bill 4 would increase the homestead exemption from $100,000 to $140,000 and provide hold harmless state aid for prior tax relief measures. It is not clear if the hold harmless would be beneficial for all districts, as there are many contributing requirements to qualify for the hold harmless. Senate Bill 26, known as the Teacher Compensation Bill, would provide teacher retention allotment to cover the salary increase of $2,500 for teachers with at least 3 but less than 5 years experience, and a salary increase of $5,500 for teachers with over 5 years experience. This is not an explanation of if this is a permanent pay increase or not, but they are still working through this in the state legislature. And lastly, Senate Bill 260 would be to increase the safety allotment from $20 per student in the school district ADA to $30,000 per campus. And then Senate Bill 533 is being discussed, which would require all bond and TRA elections to be held in November only and would be effective September 1st of this coming year, 2025. And that will conclude the superintendent's report and legislative update at this time.
There was no good news on there.
We're going to remain cautiously optimistic, Mr. President.
Hey, board, before we move on, our guests, we will get you off the hook if you would like to leave. You're welcome to.
Okay.
There will be no judgment. But just so you know, you don't feel obligated to listen to me ramble. All right?
You'll be stuck at enough board meetings.
Yeah. All right. Board, we'll move on to item. We're going to move to item 7.
Dr. Upchurch.
7B, Dr. Upchurch.
Okay, so I get to talk to you about our summer learning plan. We have some exciting things that we're doing for students from our very littles to our seniors in high school. So we're going to go through these and talk a little bit about what all we have, as well as some summer enrichment, some academic as well as some enrichment fun. Okay, first of all, for our elementary students, we know that our littles sometimes miss school. We also know that they sometimes just need some extra extended learning time. So we have 2 things that we offer to our little ones. The first one is our English Language Learner Program. This is for our students who speak English as a second language. So we have a bilingual classroom and we have an ESL classroom, and they meet for a long time. They have a specified amount for that TEA requires, 120 hours. So we do that, and then we have the elementary promotion program. These are students in grades 3 through 5 who have struggled in school and have not been successful in their STAR exam. So our next learning for elementary is for our littles. As you guys know, we've been really focused on reading and building our reading capacity, our students, and making sure that they are ready to read before they get into the 3rd grade, really. And so we are offering some options at their home campuses for the primary reading camp, which is our 1st grade and 2nd grade students. These will be in small blocks of time, like an hour at a time, with an interventionist or with their classroom teacher, and they will work on these specific skills to close some of these gaps for our students before they go to the next grade. Same thing for pre-K and kinder. They will also be in small groups of 4 or 5, and it will be for just an hour at a time. Parents will drop them, these kinds of things, and the teachers are going to work on very specific skills that our littles need so that we can help them be ready for the next grade level. Then for our secondary students, we have for junior high, we have 6 through 8. Again, this is students who have not been successful on our STAR test and need some academic support there to be successful for the next grade level. Then for high school, we have 2 options. The first one is the EOC preparation. These are students who have not yet passed their EOC exam. They have had lots and lots of practice during the school year, and this is just the last big push, and they're going to retest The next week, that last week of June 23rd through the 26th, they'll retest them, and hopefully all of them will pass. So that is what we're doing there. They have 2 sessions during high school EOC. Then we have something that is new. We're calling it the High School Summer Rescue Class. These are students who have maybe taken an English class and haven't been successful, so they didn't earn their credits for that. So we're going to provide an opportunity. This is another opportunity. There's lots of opportunities that take place during the school year for them, tutoring, after school, and some online credit opportunities there. But this is the last opportunity for them to take their English class, for example, and regain that credit before the next school year so that they can have their credits to be an official next class. Now, the new piece is that we are charging a fee because we want students to have some ownership in this. They've had lots of opportunities, and so we are starting with if you are a student who needs 1 class, it's $40 for that class. Now, if you are qualifying for the discount, it would be $20 per class.
Free reduced lunch.
Sir?
Would it be free or reduced lunch?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then anybody else who needs, like if you need 2 classes, you need an algebra class and an English class, that would be $80 or $40 for the discount. And then more classes after that, if you needed multiple, then we would look at that conversation.
So in the past, just for clarification for
Yes,
the board, there were many students that we would hire staff for, and they come 2 days, and we didn't
And they
find
don't
them for the
come.
next 18 days.
Yes, sir.
And so we just really need some skin in the game.
We used to charge. Yes, we did.
And we went away from it, I know.
Yes, we did. And so we're kind of but we didn't feel like we could just jump right in with the old charges. We felt like this was a fair way to go because we had not charged recently. And so that's what we're doing for our credit recovery summer rescue class. And then our enrichment. So we also want to have fun. Not only do we need some academics and have fun with our academics, but we want to have fun doing some all sorts of things. So we have GT Summer Camp, and this is for 4 days, and they come. There's no fee for them, but they come and they do all sorts of really neat, innovative, creative activities. Our Fine Arts Camp is also 4 days, and they come and they learn all sorts of instruments, art, just a ton of things, and these are all staffed by teachers that we have on campus, in the district already. STEM Camp for Camp Invention is an outside company that comes in, and they meet for a full 5 days, all day long, and we have a district employee who oversees that and do some amazing things with our STEM learning there. And then Galveston Bay Foundation is for our junior high students. And they do some things with the nature preserves, the wetlands, those kinds of things. It's 2 or 3 days in 1 month. And then summer training camps. As you know, Coach Thompson has tons of summer training camps that are athletic as well as strength and conditioning, sports related as well as strength and conditioning.
Does Galveston Bay do that for other school districts as well, or is it kind of a local?
I think they do. Based on what I was reading today, I think they do. Yeah, it really is. And we have quite a few who take advantage of it. It's fun.
When will the dates for the camps and stuff be released?
Excellent question. No, that's perfect. That's perfect. You are right. You're leading right in. We are finalizing everything, and so a lot of them are pretty solid. We're just making sure we have the last bit of it, and so hopefully after spring break, my goal is actually maybe April 1st. If not the Monday after spring break, the April 1st part, so that everybody can start planning all their vacations and all of the things around this. Because there's some great opportunities. Now let's see. Then we have something new. And Ms. Viator's going to talk about this, but this is something that we want to share with you guys that's going to be an exciting opportunity.
Good evening. We are very excited to offer this pilot program, the Fast Forward. And so what this is as you all probably have noticed with assessment calendars, the state is continuing to move start testing into April. As a matter of fact, we start April 9th this year. And so all of our testing will take place in April. So we have the month of May. And while we want to reserve that time for celebrating end of year parties, things like that, we certainly are going to continue that. But we're just looking at how we can capitalize on that instruction time for students students that first few weeks. And so this is something that we're looking at, and after consulting with our principals, just keeping in mind that we want to honor this, but continue those interventions that have been going on throughout the year. As you know, the state requires certain minutes for students who don't meet requirements for STAR testing. And so we're looking at continuing those interventions throughout May, those supports that are just tailored to the students' needs before we get to the summer break. The second thing we want to accomplish is accelerating next year's learning by introducing the priority standards for the next grade level to our students, so they'll get that instruction ahead of time. The third thing we want to do is to leverage our time by providing enrichment opportunities to students who might be exceeding standards and in that master's level, but we certainly want to capitalize on that too. So our goal is just to reduce what we sometimes refer to as summer learning slide for students who don't have instruction during those couple of months. And so we're just going to take advantage of that time with our students while still having it be a fun environment and excitement, because we do know it's May. But we hope this will also encourage our students to be in attendance as they can be. And so just really looking at that, celebrating kids' successes, but also capitalizing on learning after STAR. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
We'll now move on to item C, our library improvement plans. Ms. Abrams, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. And you?
Good.
Good evening, everyone. I am here to talk a little bit about libraries, the next chapter. I know we've had some conversations in the past about where we're going, and I just want to update you on what that looks like. As you know, we have had a lot of conversations about the state of our libraries, and we've done a lot of work in the fall and early spring to examine exactly where we are. We've considered that, you know, our collection sizes across the district are small, they're limited, and there's a need for us to improve what those collection sizes look like at each campus. We recognize also that the age of our collections is something that we are of concern, and we need to consider how we can improve that as well. We also talked a lot about how we've had to weed our collections for damaged books and titles, lost books, things like that. We have some campuses that are prone to mold or some poor conditions, and so that affects the health of the book, if you will. So some of those things factor into why some titles get weeded. We also take a look and talked about how we need to expand the learning opportunities at our campus libraries, not just offering books for students to check out, but also what are those interactive and collaborative learning spaces that promote inquiry, and how do those look on each of those campuses. So we have this opportunity to reset our libraries, and as we talked at the last meeting about the 5-year plan of what that looks like. So I'm going to share a little bit about that with you. We have 5 goals that are going to work through, that are going to guide the work that we do as we improve our libraries. The first thing we want to do is expand and diversify our collections, as we've talked about. We really want to make sure that our libraries have those up-to-date titles, that they're diverse, that they're engaging, kids want to check them out, and that we also capitalize on the digital resources that we provide to students as well.
That they're appropriate.
And that they're appropriate, absolutely. I'm going to reflect just what our community expects for our students to have. The next goal we have is we really want to, as I mentioned, enhance the student and teacher engagement of our libraries. So not just a place where kids go and check out books. Of course, that's primary what we want to do in libraries, but we also want to make sure that there are programs that are implemented that really get kids involved in just inquiry and collaboration and as a learning hub, if you will, of the campus. We want to take a look now also at how do we upgrade the technology that we offer to students. It's not just a book world anymore, it's a digital world, and so how can we promote digital learning with our students in our libraries, and how can that be a hub for that work? So equipping our libraries with modern technology, internet access, digital learning tools, et cetera, to support that research, to support that inquiry and literacy development, and provide that equity across those campuses. We also want to make sure as we do these things and we work on these improvements is that we ensure there are minimum standards for each library to reach, so that we can guarantee some minimum things for each campus, and that we look at accountability. In other words, looking at how we evaluate our programs across the district annually and how we ensure to fill gaps as we do that. So just establishing those consistent library resources and services, making sure we're staffing appropriately, and really taking a look at those TSLAC standards to help us with that work. And then finally, of course, we can't do anything without money. So how do we increase funding? How do we maximize our resources to ensure that we're able to do these things? So really advocating for additional funding through grants, community partnerships, budgeting allocations to the district, and so forth. So those are our primary goals as we work to improve the state of our libraries. Most immediately, and our priority right now is to just really increase the collection size and ensure those minimum standards. So as we've talked before, we've been working really hard to we've had a policy implementation change in the fall. We've worked on upgrading and changing our procedures for selecting library materials and putting those things in place. With your leadership and with your blessing, we have been able to allocate some significant bond funding. So thank you for your approval of that tonight. That will go a long way to helping ensure that we have some minimum standards as we start this rebrand or this reboot of our libraries across the district. We also have a lot of campuses that do a great job of allocating their own funding, and so they work really hard at providing book fairs or other fundraising opportunities to infuse their libraries, and they're working hard to purchase materials and books right now. And also the LaPorte Education Foundation has done a great job of helping us as well with some books and some titles and collections even in our classrooms, and so that's been a great thing to help us increase those sizes. So all of these things are working together. We are currently finalizing all of the titles that we will be purchasing with the bond allocations that you've approved tonight. We hope to have some purchasing happening we will have some purchasing happening in April, but we are in the process now of finalizing all those competitive bids. So we are excited. So you should start seeing loads and loads of books coming off the trucks and coming into our libraries. Very excited about that. Priority 2 as we round out this school year, as I mentioned, is just really trying to figure out what we can do right now to promote learner engagement in the libraries. How can we help support that? The bond has also allowed us to provide for furniture and facility upgrades in some of our campuses, so we're looking forward to some of those pieces happening to make some of those spaces more welcoming. We are working on providing e-reader stations in our libraries, and now allowing our students to have those accesses to those e-reading or those digital resources that we talk about subscribing to, allowing them a different place in the library to do some different kinds of reading. And then really promoting those reading challenges as you hear about with Beanstack. So those are the things that we're doing right now. We hope to, we'll finish up as the year ends. Long range is the strategic planning of how else are we going to do this across the district in a strategic manner over the next 5 years. So what we will be doing in the next months is convening a library improvement committee made up of folks across the district to help us weigh in on what is the vision for our libraries, what do we want to see happening in our libraries, and how are we going to make that happen over the course of the next 5 years, and what is it going to take to do that. So that strategic planning process is going to be happening in the next couple of months, and I hope to come back to you maybe early spring or in the fall to talk about what that plan will be and how we will implement that for the next 5 years. That'll be the biggest piece, and once we have that plan in place, then we'll be able to really start moving forward and really seeing some improvements happening across our district. And that is the next chapter of our libraries.
Clever.
Thank you. Any questions?
Board?
I have a question on the T-SLAC. You mentioned that last time and again tonight. What is the actual standard in terms of like staffing, like the amount of books that they require to hit? And with our purge, how far below that standard do we go?
So there's a continuum of standards, if you will. I can get you that full information after this meeting or this week, but I don't want to speak. I don't have it in front of me, to be honest. But it's rated. So if you have this many books per capita on your campus, you would be developing, or you'd be needs improvement, or you'd be proficient, et cetera. And so it just varies, and it's a combination of not only titles in your library, but also the percentage of your titles or resources that are digital. So there's a combination that ranks that. So I can get you that information from those standards. Yes.
The other question, the funds we approved tonight, how would those be allocated? Is it singular, a couple campuses, or across the 12 campuses?
Every campus will receive titles. Now, certainly, as we try to ensure that there are minimum standards being implemented across our district, some of our campuses are going to need more books than others, and so we're working really hard right now to figure out how we do that, what that fully looks like. We are really hopeful that our competitive bidding process will allow us to really stretch that dollar and ensure that every campus gets a significant impact from this allocation. So more to come. We're excited.
And the current librarians and/or paraprofessionals have been
part of the selection process? Yes. So the selection process is committee driven. So the 3 certified librarians in our district work collaboratively to support the other campus pairs who are working with the principals to help select those titles. So it is a pyramid way of selecting at the district level for all campuses. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
We'll now move on to our budget and finance update. Ms. Stacy, how are you, ma'am?
I'm good. I'm good. I also have a son who got engaged, so
Congratulations.
pray for me.
Congratulations.
Pray for me. Pray for me.
Get your pocket.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. They're thinking Vegas, guys. So we're.
Deanna and I can tell you it was really hard giving away that son.
Oh my gosh. But I like her a lot, so.
I like my daughter-in-law too, but it was hard.
Well, good evening, board members and Dr. Jackson. We'll be presenting the financial report to the board tonight. So we will be discussing, our legislative update, which Dr. Jackson's already just, gone over in detail. Our fiscal year 2025 by the numbers, and then also how we're going to build our fiscal year 2026 budget. So this is, on this slide here, this is the list of the House bills that Dr. Jackson presented in his superintendent's legislative update. But I just want to kind of touch on the main topics of the bills. So you see we have increased daily allotment, our vouchers, reducing our MCR, which is our maximum compressed rate, for our M&O taxes, eliminating disaster pennies, and changing Vader election dates. But the bottom one here, the only one that really would be extremely beneficial to us, other than House Bill 2, obviously the top one, would be removing the average daily attendance from their funding formula and replace it with average enrollment for the school year. So let's hope for that. As we move on to our Senate bills, that again, Dr. Jackson already presented to you. So going over our Senate bills, they also include vouchers, increasing our homestead exemption from $100,000 to $140,000. As you remember, in our 88th legislative session, it went from $60,000 to $100,000. So they already dumped to $40,000, and they're thinking of doing another $40,000. This one also included teacher pay, and then Senate Bill 260 would actually double what they currently have for our that they give us for our school safety allotment. Currently, we would get $10 per student in ADA and $15,000 per campus. So this would be that would be a great thing too. So
Great, but still an underfunded.
Absolutely, all the way around, 100% agree. So let's move on to fiscal year 20. We will be grateful. Fiscal year 2025 by the numbers. So right now we are 66% complete with fiscal year 2025. It started in July, so this is through February. So these numbers right here are what we currently have. Our enrollment is at 70,000. Oh, sorry, wouldn't that be one? 7,000. That may be that. We would be really building here. 7,096 students. Our daily attendance is 91, and you might think that's pretty low, and it is, but it's kind of be expected too, because we were much higher at the beginning of the school year, and as the school year kind of dwindles down, and you get after that Christmas break, before spring break, it kind of goes down. But we are doing everything we can to bring that back up.
As much as I hate to compare ourselves to other districts, is that kind of normal? Or is it low?
The dip is normal.
Okay, but 91% is low.
Well, this is looking at 6 weeks, right?
This is the 6 weeks, so it's
you
not.
got 6 of those, right?
Yes.
So it ranges. Typically, the first 6 weeks going to be your high 95s, 96s.
Right. It goes like this, but it takes the average at the end of the year of all of them, and that's what we
It'll be
get.
higher than 91.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. So our average daily attendance using these numbers would be 6,457. So everything is built off that number. So it's not the enrollment as we spoke of, it's the average daily attendance. So LaPorte ISD, we received $10,402 per student from TEA. So what that is, it's your 6160 of your basic allotment, it's your weighted out allotments that we get, and then it's also the tax revenue that they let us keep. Right? So when a student is absent for a school day, it costs the district $61. So that's just kind of to keep in mind. I'm just throwing numbers out here so that we have an understanding of.
What number do we do away to 88?
It would be it would be more. I'm sorry.
$10,000 would be like if they scratch that. And
If it's based on enrollment, so it would be that 10,402 times the 7,000 divided by 170 days that the kids go to school. So I will send that to you. Yeah. It would be, yes, it would be much more. So that would be, but that would be even more reason.
Or if they would just let us keep it.
If they let us keep it, that'd be great too. And quite honestly, if they got rid of average daily attendance, it would be a game changer for us. Yes. So here's, just want to kind of remind you what our adopted budget was that y'all adopted last June. So the adopted revenue was $107 million. Our expenses were $120 million. So we estimated the impact to the fund balance to be, a $12.6 million deficit. Our starting fund balance was $61 million. So we expect, if we go by budget numbers, I can't give you actual numbers yet because we're right 66% way through. Next month, I will be able to give you much better numbers. So the estimated fund balances that we budgeted was, our funding would end at $48.4 million. So our recapture payment that we expect to make in June would be $26.5 million.
That is not a fluctuate.
It can, and it can go up because I wish I might actually. I'm going to send this to you because I wanted you to see from the beginning when we do a preliminary. What the state tells us, here's what your numbers are at the preliminary, what versus when they get all the data, because you get data all throughout the year. You get your tax rates information, your property evaluation, your kids. Once we turn all this PEMS data throughout with all of our submissions, they update our summary of finances, so you can see how that recapture payment fluctuates. Right now, though, it's 26, and that's what we budgeted. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. So under the property and taxes, we actually just received our 2024. So this is final. So do you see what final is in? We got it January 30th. This is what we paid our taxes on, which means this is what we budgeted back in June. So our certified property values are $19.1 billion. Our deductions and exemptions is 4.4. So our total taxable value is 14.7. And then I just listed out what our total tax rate is that y'all adopted in September. So kind of some of the deductions and exemptions, if you wanted to know what that 4.4 billion that's deducted out, that's all your all homestead exemptions. Your regular ones, you're over 65, you're disabled. It also includes our reductions or exemptions because of our Chapter 313 agreements. We also do an optional homestead exemption, a local one that the district gives to people on top of the one that the state gives. So that's a decision that we make to help our community. And then also all the industrial pollution, all of those kind of exemptions. Also last year, we stayed, the certified values were still, they were 19.1, but we had more deductions. And so we actually ended at 13.6 billion last year versus our 14.7. So that means we're going to get more tax revenue this year because our valuation is higher. And that means we're also going to give more away. Yes. Okay.
Go back to that slide.
Yes, sir.
I was in the state's office and we always kind of go over all the stuff that we're going to share with the board. And I shared with Stacy, I remember 10, 15 years ago, 50 years ago, that total tax rate number in Fort Bend County where I live was right at $1.50.
And ours is not even $1.
Taxes have come way down.
And I shared with him just since 2019, we've lost 48 cents in our tax rate. Yeah. Okay. moving on. So now to build our fiscal year 26 budget. So these are the puzzle pieces that we need to build the budget, and they are all estimates. These are all unknowns. So our student enrollment and attendance, as we just discussed with Dr. Bromley, that's ongoing. It's every 6 weeks, and then they take an average, and we're hoping that it's a high number. Our property values, what they give us in July, we really don't get the actual 100% final ones until January. But we're budgeting in June. Our maximum compressed rate, TEA gives that to us based on property valuation. They give that to us August 5th every year. And then the beautiful legislative changes that we don't know are going to happen, and we're hoping for the best and planning for the worst, right? That's what we have to do. So here's our timeline for fiscal year 26. In April, we will have our April 8th board meeting. Just FYI, it's my 25th wedding anniversary that day also. So I'm going to show that. It's going to be a great night, guys. It's going to be a great night. April 22nd is our tentative compensation plan workshop. And April 30th, we'll actually receive our certified estimated property values. So all these different types of property values, you get 4 different numbers throughout the year. That amount right there is what we will build the 26 budget on. And then we will, the board will need to start thinking about how are we going to go about building our tax rate. In May, we have May 6th is a tentative budget workshop. May 13th will be our board meeting. And in June, we'll have, June 2nd is the end of the legislative session. So hopefully we won't have additional special sessions as we did in the 88th. We had 4 special sessions, so we didn't even get to final until November. And then June 10th is our board meeting, and that's where we will present the final 26 budget and compensation plan and ask that the board adopt it. And that is all I have. Is there any questions that I can answer for you?
The legislative side, like, am I correct in saying last year when they did the young state, they did that only for ISD tax, and it didn't affect the municipal tax? So this year, they're going to consider that?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what your question was.
On the homestead exemption going from 100 to 140.
Yes.
Last year, am I correct in saying that it only affected ISD? Like they didn't take in it, the municipal tax was not affected by that?
I can't speak to that. I'm sorry. I can find out for
I believe
you.
that's correct. Like I mean,
Okay.
but is it?
I don't think you're right. I think you're right, but we're going to.
I'm just curious. I mean, we spent all this time in Austin. I'm just curious if they're sticking it to us again, or is it now going to impact cities as a whole?
Yeah. So
let me clarify that, and I will let you know.
But I think he's right about.
I feel like you're right also, but I don't want to. I'd rather let me just do a little digging, and I'll provide that.
Sure, we get you that.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
And on to this guy.
Just this guy. See what you
I
get
still
yourself
may forget
into.
from me.
We'll be nicer to you.
All right, short and sweet tonight, all right? Good evening, President Hank, Board of Trustees, Dr. Jackson here to give you your March update as it relates to bond projects across the district. Lots of dirt. I talked a little bit about Lomax last month as it relates to foundational stuff, so that's what we're doing out there. There's a lot of underground happening. We just finished up in the front of the school. There was a lot of sewer systems, sewer pipe that they had to put in, and we're trying to work around the kids and work with the principal and the campus. We'll be doing some significant work over spring break. They actually have to go underneath the track out into the field to put a water line and some other items in, because that's where it tracks from that retention in the back. So that will be a big deal, but we've got a good plan for that. Obviously, Ms. Rose and her team is aware, but we won't have kids there. But it shouldn't take but a few days. We've got a couple crews that'll be doing that very quickly. But it will be fairly...
Is summer track there? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, sir.
Okay. We'll come up with a plan.
That's right. We should be good there. But that's the most significant. We're just fighting rain and trying to, for weather. So long as all that stands good, then we're in good shape there. We're really going to start pouring concrete here in the next week out there. The piers have been built out, and they're going to start grade beams tomorrow. So everything's on par at Lomax as it relates to that. Bulldog Stadium Legacy Complex, where the stadium part is probably 98%. I mean, we're touching up things. I know y'all took a walk out there, or some of you did, so you probably felt the difference of just the concourse, and things are clean, and traffic coding's about to start going down. The video board was put up this week. They've got the trim to come out and finish, but nonetheless, it's up. And it's just amazing to watch how they do some of that stuff. I mean, those are just 4x8, and they're like a suitcase in the back. They just kind of buckle together, and they just put it up, and it's a hanging system. But it looks very good as it relates. Sound systems going in, so you've seen the speakers that are going throughout the stadium, and then landscaping starts next week. So that'll be a big deal. We'll start grading all that out. We've got a mixture of mulch, grass. They're going to do some hydro spray out there. We've got a contract with a company that will come out and actually treat that for 1 solid year. So they'll water it for us, ensure that it's all good, and maintain it. Sidewalks, lights are starting to go in. We match the city of LaPorte. So those same lights that you see throughout the city, so we spent time working with the city on that to ensure those lights match. So it kind of flows correct. So those look good. And then cameras and safety and all those items are starting to go in as it relates to kind of those controlled access points. In the concession, again, it's very close. We've got some painting going, continued back on the concession area, on the concourse area. We've got painting going on in the eating areas. You saw some of that. Remember, we got 2 of those sites on each side, both home and visitor. We'll have picnic tables that will be put in there, and that'll be kind of just a hangout area. That's what it will be. We'll be chasing kids out of there, but just an area to kind of relax, and as you get your food, you can go in there and have some space. The control systems are in, so that's a big deal for us. The AV part of this stadium is unbelievable. As you can tell, we've got that pretty video board. Well, all that's got to connect and come all to the hub of the press box, and then it also runs into the Legacy Center. Well, we got to have control systems that can manage all that. So we're getting to the very end of that. We've got several teams working on that, but you can see that's some of the modular for the AV. That's the tabling system. There'll be monitors there set up, LP Sports Nets, different groups like that will be using all those items, but we're getting very, very close on that as it wraps up, and really it's going to kind of close out as related. We're going to be in punch list items starting next week. So into the next 2 weeks, we'll be punching items out of there saying, look, we're done, or this is good. But there's a big process for that. We won't be fully done as it relates to it. Signage will start going up. We're a week and a half out from the Bulldog Stadium sign going on Texas. It's huge. That's just a kind of an idea of what it's going to look like. It is, and that's at the picture here, bottom second from the top. But it's very, very large, so we're excited to get that up. That kind of namesakes it, and it's illuminated, so at nighttime it'll have a backdrop on it. You'll be able to see that across the city. Our street signs are in. We've got several of those, and I think you guys vetted some of those names, so those will be at every intersection around Bulldog Center, that whole village, even going up front to where the competition gym is. You'll see some of those. And then lastly, I don't have an image, but I put kind of a blueprint picture for you. Each one of the entry points of the stadium will have northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest, and that'll be lit up too. So you're starting to see those entry points. They're brick. They've got the stone on them, and then on top of them, and they're about 4 feet, I believe. They'll have those different areas. So obviously, as we wayfind and start to communicate what it looks like in our stadium, those things will start to shine at night. So it'll be a good piece for us. So close.
You're teaching us directions because
Right.
I think we're all used to going, okay, we're coming in on the green side, we're coming
Right.
in on the parking lot.
And the challenge and the beauty of what we're dealing with is, while there is a home and a visitor, and we know that, you can come in anywhere, right? And then you can just make your way. So that kind of makes it nice because we know our challenge with parking and so forth. Legacy Complex is making huge strides. It's fully, it's got the HVAC system up, so now they're enclosed, they're able to work. It's being locked up. All that is very good because some of the big ticket items are in there. We got our lockers this last week. They're put in place in the 4 programs, so the soccer, cross country, and track. Remember, we've got those 4 programs on the northwest side of the complex, and we're waiting for our lockers for football. So we've ordered new lockers in there. So all that's kind of closed out. The painting, you can see that same kind of theme throughout the entire facility. So you see that not only in the stadium and the eating area, but you're going to see that in the locker rooms. You see that in the weight room, and then you're going to see more wayfinding as it relates to, more signage as it relates to logos and so forth. Also as things start to close out. That's right. Themed, very much so. They're about to put the ceiling in the PD space upstairs. That's a modular ceiling. It's kind of a wood look, so it's going to bring a good tone to it. And then they're going to put those partition doors in. They're in those crates. Kind of hard to see, but they're in those crates there. So again, things are moving along as expected, and we're pushing the envelope. To close out, while we've got those construction projects, there's always things happening in the district. We continue to supplement the campuses, working on different things, whether Blake's team putting in carpet, flooring, furniture, as Ms. Abram mentioned. We've got our first fleet of the vans that have come in. And I think I know Dr. Jackson has with the Suburbans. We got those in. So that's exciting. Our guys are really, really excited about that. They're fighting over those. Yeah, we're going to put that one.
I missed that one.
Some of them are a little struggle.
Rusty.
The Suburbans are very nice. Jeff and I took it to.
They don't shake or anything. They keep you on the road.
Well, they don't shake, and the steering wheel, when you point it straight, does go straight. They're very nice. The automatic braking systems is something to get used to, but it was very nice.
A little tough. Buses are continuing to come in. Remember, we've got the grant, and we went ahead. You blessed us to go ahead and proceed on getting those ordered. So we're getting a shipment in April. We'll have a shipment in July, and then we're getting close to getting those 20, if you recall that clean energy grant. Baseball and softball has been a ticket for us. We're just slowly getting into it. We started at baseball, obviously with the logos and the turf, but a lot of painting. You can see some pictures of some wayfinding that's on its way, so they should be here in a week. We covered the back of the stands and fenced it, slatted it, so people can't go in there. Again, it's about beautification and making our places look good. We painted the poles, and advertising will start to come a part of that, and then we're moving to softball to do the same thing. A big piece for us that we'll be doing soon is the foundation. We've got some foundation issues at Rizzuto. We've got some quotes back on getting that work done, so we'll start that work. We're obviously, with the bilingual move going there, we're using that entire facility, so we got to make sure it's ready to go when they get there. Any questions for me?
Whenever we complete both of these facilities we're working on, you just said the name of it, the badge system, strategic, it'll be a part of the stadium and Bulldog,
Yes,
whatever we're calling it? Okay.
We'll add that. It'll have to come back to you, but it will be an added site. Yes.
Can we pay for that out of bond money?
Yes, we do.
Forward.
I think the $1 million question, the elephant in the room, May.
Stadium.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we're good. I think
We're graduating in that
Oh,
stadium.
100%.
Or
Yes.
else.
Or else.
Period. Comfortable to say that. I think we're reaching for some
And
other
they've
things.
given me that reasonable
Yes.
assurance.
Yeah.
They're cleaning up now.
They've given
They're
me that
cleaning
reasonable
for some of
assurance.
this stuff.
Well,
We'll be in the stadium.
But
The
they-
complex will not be ready,
but the
but
actual
we feel fully confident we'll be able to host graduation there and be fully functioning. Now, we won't be in the Legacy Center. Now, the board will work and all of that will function, and we're prepared for all of that, but Legacy Center will not be occupied. Correct.
So I got to walk it yesterday, and the top 3 things that stood out to me, besides it just being, I don't know, it felt like another world from the previous stadium. The top 3 things that stood out to me is the attention to details, and not just how beautiful it is, but how every line, every structure, everything is just, it just seems so much more reinforced and like backed up than anything we had before. And so just saying, gosh, this is going to last us a long time, right? So that was number 1 to me, just like the longevity and the legacy that it's gonna have. Number 2, the beautification. Just when you walk into the stadium itself, it's gorgeous. And has so many details, like lines, the angles of different things. Like if you pay attention to that kind of stuff, it is just another level. He was talking about the ceilings. I mean, I was like, what? Seeing just a section with the ceilings, it was so awesome. And the school spirit. There is not a space in there that does not have a level of LaPorte in its element, from the details in the flooring to, like he said, the painting. I was shocked that there was paint on the walls. So great job, everybody getting it done, because it's so inspiring to see the progress and to see what it's going to be. And I just can't wait for our students to get to use it. Absolutely. So ready.
Absolutely.
self-interest on this, but we do a lot of events in the chamber, and we're finding that a lot of rooms we rent don't have audio-visual capabilities.
Yep.
Will the Legacy Complex
One
have that? We'll have that.
It'll have it in every bay, right? So you could go the smaller bays, and when and all those will have the capability. And then if we go long ways, and you know what? Let me see. I didn't take. I had another. Opposite of this wall here is I think it's about a 30-foot projector drop that comes out. We'll have TVs on the side as well. There's floor plug. Yes. The answer is yes. It'll be fully capable of all that. Totally. The pictures don't do it justice. Yeah. You know, and the beauty obviously is all our furniture, the tables, everything's stored there, the kitchen components, stored there. Because I mean, this takes an army every time we have to set this up. You know, we change it, our team comes over, so it's going to be there, and we'll all the furniture's in, so we're storing it. It's a matter of being able to start putting it together.
You have 4 small
Right.
meetings, 2 big meetings.
Correct.
one-
And there's also flex rooms, right? So if you go outside, when you come out of those, we have a whole nother classroom that's huge up there that will equip that the same way. Obviously, athletics can use it too, but it's also another space. Really gives us 6, at full capability as we move in there. So,
You know, we had two tours yesterday and one Friday. And we just kept trying to reiterate, this is not just a sports stadium. It is a multi-purpose, really civic center for the entire community. So we're trying to just really make sure we send that, drive that home.
absolutely. When the TVs get in and the Wall of Fames are on there, we've got murals that are going to start going up in the Legacy Center that are going to blow you away. They've not even started them yet. They're going to come in once the drywall's done, talk about spirit, and it's going to look really good. It's going to speak of who LP is. All right.
Anything else, Port? Before you leave, just want to say really, from the bottom of my heart, from all of us, thank you for all you've done. You have definitely left a legacy. You have had an impact from day one. You're charismatic, and you're that guy. And it has been a pleasure to work with you. And they're damn lucky to have you. And you're always welcome here anytime. Nothing against you. You're welcome too.
It'll be good.
But,
it's a good one.
But yes, we appreciate, I know those to that point, the details and stuff in the projects that we've done in this short period of time, it's just been mind blowing, and it's exactly what we needed. So I appreciate you. We appreciate you. And if there's anything we never do for you, we're just a phone call away. So thank you.
Thank you guys so much. It's been a blessing.
Now, get out!
Not just yet. He's gonna. He and Bobby and I have some conversations to have.
Okay, after that. And then we will move on to item 9, action on closed session items. We do not have any items, so we will hear closing comments from the Board of Trustees and the Superintendent. Board, floor is yours.
Oh, I am. Don't have much to say other than the fact that have a great spring break, and to be honest, turn all your social media off for this spring break and enjoy it. And don't read it. It's frustrated me over the last couple of days, but just understand, we know you guys are doing the right thing. Dr. Jackson's doing the right thing, and people on social media really don't know what they're talking about. And I'll just flat out say that. And maybe Friday night around 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, say a little prayer for Ryan. He's running his last indoor meet nationally. That's one. Be in Virginia Beach. If anybody knows what to do in Virginia Beach, please let me know. Because we're going to stay there for a while. So.
A lot to do.
Good luck. Other than that, that's it.
A lot to do in Virginia Beach.
Melissa, is that good?
So like I said, I got to tour the stadium. Got to tour the stadium yesterday. My son has been home since the 1st, and he goes back to the Air Force tomorrow in North Carolina. And he got to tour the stadium, and he played as a freshman in the old stadium. He was in shock and in awe, and just super excited. Even brought it up again today. Just like, I can't believe that these kids are going to get to be be a part of this and be in this facility. And he was just really kind of singing the praises of Porte ISD, which if anybody who taught my son knows that's not the easiest thing for him to do, just because school was not his thing. But we were blessed that he went to the academy and graduated from the Academy of Viola DeWalt and then went into the Air Force. So thank you for setting him up for success. That's kind of what I wanted to say in all this, was that just he is a product. He came back and has grown into a fantastic young man, and y'all are doing that for our students all across our district every single day. You're making an impact, and I just wanted to say thank you for the impact you're making in my kids' lives, but in all of our students' lives. So please enjoy your spring break. Take time for yourselves. Take time for your family, and really, truly bask in what you are being successful at, and that is impacting their lives.
I want to go on record again saying thank you to Terry for her patience, probably more than anything, but her kindness and her leadership with with all the different things you help us with, specifically this time with the Young Entrepreneur Expo. Really, truly, we couldn't have done that without your help. So, also want to thank the principals. Mrs. Greenwood, thank you for trusting us with your campus. I hope it was okay. But it turned out to be a phenomenal. I was nervous about having it indoors, but it turned out we got a lot of compliments about having it there in the cafeteria at Baker and using that outside area. So again, thank you for allowing that, and thank you to all the other elementary principals for allowing us to come onto your campus with our volunteers. I know we mentioned the mentors, but I want to brag on our sponsors this year. Most of those, if not all of them, are members of our Partners in Education. Typically, what we do is we give each team a $50 gift card to Walmart to help offset their expenses. This year, it was a $150 gift card for each team. They provide each child a shirt, a bank bag from Amagi. They gave out over $700 worth of $20 increment gift cards, Dairy Queen, Texaco, other things. They also give us $1,000 to go spend at the booth. And so I think that every one of those kids, they all made a different amount of money, but they all were very, very happy. And I think that the why really is to help them learn how to start a business and hopefully take that passion and take it elsewhere. And so it's always chaotic, but all, the day of the event always seems to come together. Thanks in part to all the district help. And so again, we're very blessed that you guys allow us to do it. And we thank not just the district, but certainly our principals, our community partners, and all those that show up for the kids the day of. So again, thank you guys. Also, Dr. Bromley, just echo the sentiments. Again, we're going to miss you for sure. We certainly wish you all the very best in your future endeavors, and we look forward to the next chapter. But again, you definitely have made a lasting impact in your short time here. So thank you for that.
I don't have a lot to say. Again, this week can be kind of brutal right before spring break, especially, my experience at the high school was this was a week we're going, oh, please, let's just make it to Friday. So y'all enjoy your spring break, and thank you for all that you do. We are so blessed to have such a great, principals and teachers, and I get emotional because my kids, I graduated from here. I've got 3 kids that are one almost done. This is last year. And so I just want to say how much we all appreciate. And Russell's right, don't look at Facebook, because sometimes when you see the comments there, it really doesn't do y'all justice. So thank you.
I would agree with stay off Facebook while you're on your spring break. I may try that myself, and I don't even have a spring break, but I may try that too. I've been to a couple of events in the last couple of weeks. I went to the chili cook-off at Rizzuto for Go Texan Day. Let me tell you, they got some good cooks over there. It was yummy. And then I went to Heritage Elementary for Read Across America, and had a great time there as well. I always enjoy reading to the little ones. The stadium tour was, as Melissa said, just blew me away. And one of the things that we haven't mentioned that I was really impressed with was the collegiate level timing devices that are going to be in that track for our track program. And that made me very happy and very proud, on top of all the million other things that people have already said that I'm not going to waste time repeating. Happy to see Sam Zabrowski going into a new role for the district. I think that's going to be just a blessing. And Dr. Martinez and your family, welcome to LaPorte. We're looking forward to working with you and great things that will be coming ahead. And Dr. Bromley, I saved you for last. We're going to miss you. I know you're going to do great things where you're going, and we're going to be following you, and we're looking forward to seeing you at some of those conventions with your team at that point. And you've definitely left a legacy here and made quite an impact in LaPorte, and so we appreciate all the hard work that you've given us the last couple of years. Thank you.
I'm probably going to stay on Facebook. I don't have much going on, so if y'all get curious what's going on, just give me a call. I'll update you. I do want to welcome Dr. Martinez and your family. Thank y'all for coming and staying. Sorry to your kids for having to sit through this.
There's a Dairy Queen. Don't you?
Yeah, Miss Pat's very nice. She'll take care of you at Dairy Queen. Anyway, so we're very excited to have you here. I want to thank Adam and your team because you've had an eventful few weeks, days, and it's a lot of work, and no one thinks about that, you know, how much it is to do all that work. And I'll thank Terry too, just because she's great at everything. Principals, you should have gotten an email from Adam about the Sylvan Beach Parade. Make sure you sign up for that, please, so we can have full participation again. And, you know, yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun, and I know that the students like doing it. So when I got the text message about Dr. Bromley leaving, I immediately texted him and told him he was dead to me because I was just so heartbroken that he was leaving. I am very dramatic, but
No, stop, really?
yeah, but I was, you know, you have been a great asset to LaPorte ISD, and I think it, you know, based on everybody's remarks and the faces in the audience, you know, you're really going to be missed, and Splendora is gaining a very well-equipped superintendent. So thank you for your service, and that is all I have.
Awesome. I'm not going to keep you long. So I hope you all have a wonderful spring break. Welcome to our family. We're glad to have you and look forward to working with you and your family here. But everybody enjoy their spring break. And with that, did you have something?
I do, if
Okay.
you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I want to make sure I go on record and say, first of all, welcome Bobby and your family. We're excited to have you all, and you're going to be in for a great ride, and you can see that. This is a wonderful town, a phenomenal school district, and these people are as genuine as you see, all right? We really care about each other, but we don't always agree about how we care about each other, but we do. And I can honestly say they take care of their superintendent, and they allow me to bring great people. Dr. Bromley, I just want to say one more time publicly, thank you. You made this job phenomenal for us to grow together and learn together. But I want to send a very strong message to everybody that's listening to us. That's what leadership is about. Growing other leaders. If you ain't growing other leaders, you probably are not leading. In 2 years, this school district, not Walter Jackson, this school district in 2 years, in 12 months, not 2 years, have placed 2 superintendents into superintendent roles. That's something special that's going on, and board, you should take notice of it and make certain that we can bottle it, because it's not common for that to happen. And it's because you allow me to go out and find rock stars, and we allow rock stars, we don't micromanage them, we allow rock stars to thrive. And so he was a rock star when I hired him, but we still had to coach him up. And so now he's ready to go help grow other people. But if you're not growing leaders, Dustin, Bobby, Julie, Stacy, others, executive directors, we're not leading. So we have to get used to turning the page of a chapter in our lives, because that's what we do. We grow leaders, right? I know some districts say that they grow things. I won't say what, but they grow things here. But we grow leaders. And that's what LaPorte is all about. That's part of your brand, board. That's your brand. That's not Walter Jackson now. This board has put people into those roles. And I don't want to let this night go by without saying thank you for allowing us to be risk takers and reach out and go get rock stars and let them come for a while. So what? We only have them for 3 or 4 years. I'd rather have a rock star for 4 years than a dud for 40. So thank you, Dr. Bromley. Godspeed to you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and your family, and that you may go in peace and be prosperous. All right.